Let's get cracking.
Hello, everybody. It's your old friends at Nerds or Us, and welcome back to the Best of All Worlds podcast here with your friends Jonathan and the man to know, Jerry Soul. Jerry, we're on a bit of a come down after the previous episode. Obviously, it's been a while since you've recorded. I don't know how you could ever recover from the Way of the Warrior topping our list and potentially being there forevermore. But we've decided to go again to go for another set of episodes and as a little indicator of where we're going next, we are going to be watching The Defector from season 3 of The Next Generation. And as I said, just before we started, we described this episode as a bit of a sleeper, a bit of an underrated one, Jerry, but this is one that you're looking forward to immensely to review on the show.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of those episodes that it's one of my go-to episodes in terms of, if I'm doing a watch through, because I've done a watch through many times of Next Gen, Voyager, Enterprise, Deep Space Nine. I've done a watch through of all four of them. My God, I don't know how many times I've done it, but I've done it.
Hmm.
But every now and then you'll do a watch through, and you won't watch every episode, but you'll be like, no, skip that one. No, skip that one. Oh, she's having sex with Coates. No, skip that one. It's a thing. You'll skip, but
Yeah.
then certain episodes come along and like, oh, you do not skip that one. Like yesterday, like
Hmm.
yesterday's Enterprise, like Best of All, Both Worlds, like Way of the Warrior, Sacrifice of Angels,
Yeah.
Year of Hell. It's those types of you just simply don't. You have to watch them. And
Hmm.
this episode is one of those episodes because not only is the story fascinating, the tension throughout the whole thing, and obviously we're going to get into it, the tension throughout the
Yes.
whole episode, and the surprise then at the end, you're like, oh, this is brilliant. This is peak Next Generation. This is like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, absolutely. So while I don't expect it to score as high as Way of the Warrior, I
I'd be
definitely think
amazed if it does.
yes, I definitely think it's going to score high. There's a couple of categories, it won't do well on just because like there's not many new things. We
Yeah.
like to look at new things. There's not many new things in it, but other than that, like story, setting, consequences, stuff like that. Oh yes, oh
Like
yes.
like I said, it's one of those ones. It kind of like it's reminiscent of what episode did we have that recently? Duet, actually, with Deep Space Nine, where we're looking at going like, oh yeah, no, you know when you kind of like it's an episode that kind of like you you proverbially sleep on it a little bit. You kind of go like, ah yeah, no, Duet, that's a good episode, stuff like that. And then when you actually kind of put your critical lenses on a little bit and go, actually no, this is genuinely fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, what great accomplishment for Duet in its own right is that like it was in the first season of Deep Space Nine. They're still trying to work out the finer points of the production, of the characters,
Yeah.
of all those little bits in between that like you take a bit for granted when you're watching it. Just as I said, like if you're doing a binge watch, you go like, oh yeah, this episode's great and all that. But it's the workings of it. It's how it gets to that point. And especially like again, it wouldn't be a Star Trek series if like they got shit wrong in the first season and then redeem themselves later on. And Next Generation really does ramp up the gears in season 3 and 4, as we've seen in previous episodes we've done on the show. And really, there's a lot more episodes we could do in season 3, but we're trying to stretch ourselves out a little bit. We're not trying to glut out straight away. Um, but certainly the Defector is one of those ones like this is the middle of the road. This is the middle of the road of the season. Like it's nor conventional logic would tell you that this is a bit of a hump of the season, but it really isn't. If anything, it's one of the highlights. So yeah, listen, we've lampshaded it long enough. Let's get into it, Jerry. Are you ready to press play on your side?
I am ready to rock.
Excellent, because as you may have guessed if you watched the show before, but on presumption that episode 41 is your starting off point, welcome. Go back a couple of like go up to the top of the playlist there, and you'll see me and Jerry like a few years younger. It's great. We haven't aged a bit. So what we are doing here, we are both watching the episode live, as it were, in the room here, and then we are going to be reviewing it right after because it is literally the best of both worlds. We're going to be watch along and review, and then giving our live commentary as well. So if you want that, you're more than welcome to join on with us. If not, give us about 45 minutes on the video, and you'll then get our review and trivia of the episode itself. And then stick around to the end because we're going to show you where we're going next on this season as we roll into the year 2026. So I'm not sure what start date that is, but someone can do the maths for me. So I mean, Gene Roddenberry never did the fucking maths on us, so why should we bother? So, right then, let's. I'll count us in then on three, two, one, engage. Felt so good to say that for a TNG episode.
Yes. I have to ask a question right off the
Yes.
bat here, right?
Yeah.
Did you know? So this scene here, right? Did
Hmm.
you know immediately who that was with the pike?
Oh, you could he can't hide the voice. He can't hide the voice. Like it's
Mm,
impossible. Like he did try his best. He puts on the accent, but like it's that kind of like I think certain Shakespearean actors like they just have that bass to that voice.
yeah,
Like, but even then, it's the way like again we don't need to kind of give Patrick Stewart an introduction here. We know his Shakespearean background, but even the way he walks around the scene, like he is walking as if it's a theatrical set. Like he just strolls around the place, kind of captured, like slowly guiding the audience to the next bit. Like it's excellent. But I love the idea that like because of like this is essentially like this is like data learning to learn to act. And he goes, do you know who I'd love to have in my cast would be my boss. Captain, could you step in here? Could you it's
yeah.
just I love the idea of that, you know?
Firstly, by showing to his time, he may show what outward courage he will, but I believe as cold of night as tears, he could wish himself in 10 knuckle and neck.
Now I wonder why we are having this scene about King Richard, about when the episode is called The Defector. What sort of allegory are they going for here, I wonder? I presume it's
I
relevant to the plot.
maybe. I do love the fact the sheer amount of makeup Patrick Stewart had to wear for this scene. Like Jesus Christ.
And well, the best part is like it's still clearly Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
like like I say, it's like the fact that like, listen, there's only so much like, acne we can put on you. Unless you're able to like, put like throw your voice. Do you look what I've done with you, sir? It's a bit of a makeover.
And there is no better way of
I do love as well that he has his like little like like bowl cut over his actual hair as well. You only really see it in the HD version. It's like, is
Yeah.
that deliberate or is that a fuck up? I actually can't tell. I don't want to
Oh,
give him,
absolutely deliberate.
yeah,
Absolutely deliberate.
because it looks like I think he disturbed the hair with the cowl when he was
Yeah.
taking it off, and like they just rolled into the next bit, like so.
habit. What king has to come? The leader should he not be
Captain, who's a god to a king? Who's a god to a non-believer? Data, I warned you about quoting rap on the shit on the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah. He just takes it off.
It's like that's to a bald captain. That's a dick move, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, sorry, let me just take my hat. Let me just take my fucking hair off. God, Data, read the fucking room, man. All right,
So
Jesus.
this is the thing, though, right? We're in the 24th century.
Yeah.
And, when they put on disguises to go elsewhere, they wear wigs and presumably, like, they can make hair grow,
Yeah.
but we still have bald people. Like, what the
Yes.
hell?
I mean, if we've established anything from like bald captains, is that you get them in your two flavors: soft, philosophical diplomat or
Yeah.
bastard.
Oh, yeah.
The face and heel dynamic of bald captains is what I would say there. Like, that's not our name. Oh, they say the A word, right? Come on. This seems like official Romulan business. Let's
Mm.
intervene.
Now, this is the thing that really, really bugs me
Mm,
about Star Trek
yeah,
is that they can just never get scaling correct.
yeah. I saw
Okay.
that too. Yeah.
So that's a scout ship.
Mm,
Presumably a scout ship, it's a one-man vessel.
yeah.
Or presumably, it's a small vessel, they have a few people on it, okay? So it's not going to be bigger than, say, the Defiant.
Mm,
Let's just say the Defiant. or even it's not going to be bigger than a Miranda class ship.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fucking Romulan warbird following it.
Yeah.
A Romulan warbird is technically twice the size, or almost twice the size of a Galaxy class starship.
Yeah.
But yet, the scale in that looked like the scout ship was nearly the same size as the warbird.
I like the idea of it that maybe it was like a little baby warbird that was just hatched.
That's all they just hatched it out. Little
That's a
itty bitty war. It's so fucking stupid. Like it really is. It's so
baby's
silly.
first warbirds. Oh
It's
dear.
just that,
But no,
like this.
your
This
voice
is the
got it
thing
wrong.
about scaling. Like they just cannot in Star Trek they cannot get scaling right,
No, they
and
really can't.
there's so many instances of it. Okay, so take Deep Space Nine. We have the station. We have a Galaxy class starship docked
Mm,
at the very first episode. Okay, I want you to zoom fast forward then to season. Now this is the big fast forward. A lot of fast forward here. Fast forward season 6.
mm,
Okay, very first episodes of season 6. You see a Galore class docked to the bottom of the station, and it's
yeah.
nearly the same size as the fucking station. So silly. Like even this
I
scene,
know.
just we just watched it right there.
Yeah.
Shoot, it's nearly the same size as it. Like so silly. You tell him,
Maybe look like
Pickard. You tell him.
he's using he has a serious trousers on.
We are moving to intercept. Maintain your course and power.
Oh, but the picture was so clear there for a second. I thought everything was going fine.
One thing I'll say about this is that you've got that lovely scene at the start, and then it leads into it. But how
Mm,
you get the tenseness, I suppose, and tension
yeah.
is that music.
Oh
Straight
yeah.
away, that music. And even right now, it's not, it's just subtle in the background.
Mm,
And as soon as the warbird comes back on screen, it boom, it's back in. It's
yeah.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen now here in a second. Here we go. Bang, straight back into it. Now we finally have the scale a little bit better.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. The fact the scaling is so terrible
Yeah.
that a minute ago they were the same size, but now they're so much bigger.
I always thought they were very inconsistent with the size of the Deradex class anyway, because
Yeah.
in the debut of that ship, which I think was the Neutral Zone episode,
Mm.
the season ender for season one,
Mm.
they made the ships look massive
Yeah.
to kind of like assert the dominance of like it's very much the Red Panda get big fucking ship is like, oh look
Yeah.
it's bigger than the Galaxy ship.
Mm.
And then I think they realized then, okay, if we were to do that, then any kind of like viewer that we do of that ship is going to be completely out of whack. So we either have to do
Yeah.
like distance shots or something comparatively
Mm.
consistent.
The one thing I will say is about Deep Space Nine, at the very least, is that they tend to get the Romulan ships. Don't mind
Yeah.
anything. Don't mind anything else, because everything else, the scaling is just so shit.
Mm.
The
I think
Romulan ships are
that has
always
the CGI
massive.
quality though as well though, because like at least
Yeah.
with the computer generated stuff is you can just have the model rendered, so then it's always going to be that size. But
Yeah.
obviously, even in certain space battles, or you mentioned in season 6 there, DS9, like those little teething problems where they didn't exactly like scale or expand the model big enough, you know?
Mm. There we go.
Wow, this requires plain neutral. Wow, it's an entire base already been established. Within 48 hours, the reactor core will be online. So the Federation sensors that monitor the neutral zone just missed it. Seems so. Today. Frankie is
Do you like my thinking face, Romulan? I'm using it a lot today. Oh, what was that conversation we had next season about preemptive strikes? Hmm. I'm sorry, we don't normally get prisoners. Oh, sorry, asylum. We don't normally get like people volunteering to be for interrogation, but okay. Guess they're just built differently in Romulan, really, aren't they?
That would not be an atypical Romulan story. In their long history of war, the Romulans rarely attacked first. They prefer to test their enemy's resolve. Things like draw us into they don't look like the aggressors. And the Romulans would have a
I
particular
mean, those seats just look fantastic, don't they? They look so comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I know we all pretty much have the same type of like, computer seat now at this stage, but my fucking lord, it's just whatever it is about the cushion, the cushioning, the angle, it's just ergonomics in the 25th century, lads.
people. We have less than 48 hours to prevent.
But I wanted to investigate the human condition. So tomorrow, Data, okay? I'll let you do another Shakespearean play tomorrow.
Another thing that exploded right there.
Yeah,
It didn't even shake the ship.
no. Like I know the shields would have been up and all that jazz, but it would have been inside the ship's bubble, wouldn't it? So like, yeah.
Federation crazy.
Sorry, can you just stand still? I'm trying to aim this pink light at your skin, okay? Can you just not? I'm trying to irradiate you here.
Stop a war. Thank you, Doc.
Hmm.
If I had a chance to gain some experience recently.
We don't talk about it in the room with Worf.
A deep logistics clerk. Work credentials are a simple matter for a spy.
We eat them.
The knowledge of Klingon curses is impressive, but it's a rock that only a Baru would use such language in public. Mr. War,
I just love the idea that there's like somebody in the writing room going, lads, we need to figure out what cunt is in Klingon. Like, come on, like lads, come on, we need this by today. It's the only way we're gonna bypass the censors if you put it in a language they like not only don't they understand, but doesn't exist.
Oh, very serious face there from Will Riker.
Mm.
Very serious.
Look at this serious Riker content we're getting here.
Mm.
Get that man a chair to to leap over this instant. See that one right there. Come on, quick.
think we like that. Hold on.
No Fahrenheit in this shithole. It would have been great if it just like it's a big block of ice. Well,
Mhm.
you asked for cold. Yes, you're right, Cital. This is the nicest prison cell you could have asked for. Hmm. As you can see here, Captain, it says everything is fine in the neutral zone. See, this is fine. Everything else here, fine. Maybe you should ask Commander Riker, actually. He might have some help with you on that. You know, we all had difficult assignments in our junior years in Starfleet. Mutiny, for instance. I like the little decode graphic there. It's like, you've solved the puzzle. Gamma was the right answer, Captain. Well done. You don't get spammed this week. I mean, it sounds great, but we have a courtroom episode later on the season, so this is a bit inconvenient. Funny enough, also Romulan themed, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So playback, play into log the power data for both vessels. Now watch what happens. 095433. Wow. Scout is staying energy, forcing him to slow to 0.615 impulse power. The warship should overtake him, but doesn't. Now, just 2.6 seconds later, the warship slows to precisely the same speed, 3 times.
Sorry, Jordy, you dropped your tinfoil hat there. It's just on the ground there in case you're looking for it. Hmm.
Target 463.7. We're holding a position at the neutral zone border proximate to Nelvana 3. Our guest is telling the truth. There are 21 hours left before the Romulan base becomes functional. Monitoring the
Hmm.
Ooh, a whole two ships. Woo.
We're sparing every resource we have, Captain. I mean, come on, they're both Excelsior ships. What more do you fuckers want?
Like the admiral just said, we're prepared to take them on, and that's what they want. What?
So we're sending two ships.
Two Excelsior class ships
Yeah.
that are
Two
90
fucking
years old.
two rust buckets in a Galaxy class starship walking into a bar.
Even one, even one warbird would actually take the three of them out. Like,
Yeah. Oh my God, you're asking for my opinion? Shit, shit, shit. Would you like me to do it in a funny voice, Captain? No, no, no gimmicks this time, Data. Just the facts.
and no fart noises either, Data. Come on.
I'll let you away with the last one, but not this one. King Henry, not King Richard. And look, we just loop back the first scene of the show into the story plot. It's not now that's what you call is good writing. Lovely stuff. I think for me it was the fact that it was the way he said it as well. Is it the kind of like the the kind of morose tone to it.
Spire. No. Did by telling you something about the location and strength of the Romulan fleet. I don't know it. You're a logistics officer. What sector owned who is your superior officer? I'm not sure of. The location of the Romulan bases along the neutral zone. I don't know. In your sector. Irrelevant. The number of troops under your admiral's command. Irrelevant. Guess you're right. Not worth playing this game.
Hmm. Come on, men. Let's settle down. Drop a pin in that for later. Hmm. And now I'll have my fourth cup of Earl Grey today. I'm stressed. Very stressed.
Some qualities would interfere with rational judgment. They do. Why not rely strictly on the facts? Because you just can't rely on the plain and simple facts. They lie.
That's why I always keep putting my gut instinct on Wikipedia articles, Data. I think history needs to remember how I felt during this.
No, I think we're gonna get down on Eldon 3, like you said. See, because your gut tells you so. Exactly. But you can't always.
Now, great. So this one scene
Mm,
straight up to the last episode of Picard,
yeah,
when Data finally says, "My gut, my
yeah.
gut tells me I can do this."
Help us feel almost never involved. So Tosin fills in the missing pieces of the puzzle with his own personality, resulting in a conclusion based as much on instinct and intuition as on fact. Now you're getting.
It does sound stupid when he says it like that, doesn't it?
Mm.
But we are just making it up as we go along, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
But again, don't take my word for it. Trust your gut. Is that another metaphor, or is it literally gone counterclockwise?
Maybe naturally. Habits are clearly artificial. Signal was so faint, our sensors couldn't. Right. Probably wrong. And also,
So that's where Joe Duffy has gone now. Ah, fair enough. It's a different gig altogether, isn't it? Now he has an entire planet of moany bastards to broadcast to. All right, if we just have now, we have got Admiral Tomalak on the line there from the Romulan Star Empire. Go on ahead there, Admiral. Now, go on. Yeah, what's so? And do you
It's
like Reman? Do you?
the only thing I don't like about Next Gen is that they built up Tomalak so much,
They did.
and he was gone.
Yeah,
And
he was.
all we ever got then after season, I think it was after season 3, Possibly
Yes.
after this episode. This might be the last one. The
Well,
only,
do
the
you want
only,
to find out the
the
Death
only time
Stars
you,
list?
yeah,
Yeah.
the only time you see him is the very last episode, All Good Things,
Yes, indeed.
and it was literally a 30-second cameo.
Yeah.
Like I know he went over to Babylon 5, I get that,
Yeah.
but like, geez, he could have done both.
I think it's well. I mean, like he wouldn't have been the only person to have done it as well. In fairness, to have been, if you like, an
Yeah,
amphibian.
but
But
imagine him and
yeah,
Sela though. Imagine the
yeah,
dynamic. And I like the idea of them fighting,
yeah,
them not being on the same page, but her hatred for the Federation being so much more than his. So
yeah.
like the Enterprise gets into trouble, and it's actually the Tomalak that helps them.
I
And I'm
suppose
like,
that
that would have
I
been
kind
cool.
of would defend that decision in the sense that just had to have Tom Lock and then not. Like I think that's like that is kind of the KGB, or shall we say the Soviet politics allegory with the Romulans, isn't it?
Mm,
In the fact that like they are the opposite side of the Berlin Wall, so there are names that the West are aware of, and
mm,
then suddenly they're ousted, they're gone.
mm.
So like it's that kind of thing where like you're looking from afar and you're going like like this such a this Yeltsin character sounds interesting enough. There's been a coup. Okay, fine. Do we know who the new leader is? No. He won't tell us our name. Won't tell us our address. Don't even know which country he's in. Type of shit like that. And I think in that respect that like there probably is like Tomalak has probably just been just done in a sense where he probably fucked up some sort of like or he personally offended the Praetor or something and he's been fucking put in a gulag.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of that aspect of it where like if there's any kind of comparison between like that kind of as it were the Cold War politics, I think that's the best comparison. It's about the like this face that we do know now is no longer irrelevant and is probably now living in disgrace.
I'd have to do a bit of research. I'd have to see if there's like a book that has him
Mm,
in it, and what happens to him. I would like to know what happens to
yeah,
Tomalak, because
we have a
obviously,
look at the apocrypha when we're catching his
mm,
character. Yeah, yeah. Like someone like Tomalak is very much ripe for as it were memory beta. Like it's really one of those ones where
oh
like you
yeah.
can imagine someone's wrapped a novel around him or something along those lines. Maybe he was a defector in the end. We don't know.
Mm.
After all, we kind of know what happens to the Romulans in about give or take 25 years time beyond this point. So
Run program.
do you like Shakespeare, Mr. Romulan?
Imagine.
So, I think someone made that point before that like it's very like you don't actually hear of any in universe works of fiction. It's only DS9 showing that talking about that novel about a Cardassian Klingon war in like 2 seasons before it actually happens. It's like that is a great little seed to plant. That's just very well done.
Turn it off. Cancel program.
Also, nice to see what Romulus actually looks like
Mm.
after so many different like allegations of what it's meant to look like. And again, very similar to Vulcan.
Yeah.
Really driving that point home.
Saying that now, when you see it in future episodes, it is completely different.
Yes, that's true. Now, whether that's to do with like those or like other seasons, you know,
Like that's a moment there.
yeah,
He finally admits he's Admiral fucking Jarrock.
it's funny. I was like, in a way, like a kind of like this defector stuff is fascinating to me because, for those uninitiated with the Irish education cycle, if you do history, you have to do a case study. So the case study I picked was about a Russian defector. But he was, I think, third or fourth in command in the KGB at the time. His name was like Roman Polyakov or Polakov or something along those lines. But he was basically sending a whole lot of information to the States, and he was living in the States, or certainly he was like going back and forth. So he was called Agent Top Hat in American kind of spy circles. So Top Hat would be kind of like going back and forth and like essentially giving America as many like warnings as possible about like here's stuff that they're positioning and all that jazz. But Top Hat was one of the many double agents, if you like, that were all caught by Richard Ames who was the
Right.
famous American defector to Russia as well. So Ames basically blew his cover and the cover of various other defectors as well. And Polyakov managed to get his family over to the States, who are now still living there apparently, while he went back to Russia and died in the Gulag. So I guess he got what he wanted in the end. His family got to be safe. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's fascinating to see when they do like the defector. A defector is a common enough story in most kind of works, especially because like it was all. It's again, you like these writers lived during the Cold War, so
Yeah.
hearing about these people is almost there's a sort of exotic quality to it as well. But now we're getting to the late stage Cold War. It's all a
Mm.
bit kind of old hat now. There's a lot of comparisons between this and Duet, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like it's a very similar episode, story beats and stuff like that.
Mm.
My side. No good word. I'm committed to help us overpower the Romulan B-type warbird in the camp. Are you prepared to help us detect them through their cloaking sheets?
Can you tell me how what size the Deredexes are actually meant to be, Admiral? Because we don't fucking know.
To ask us. Circumstances are hardly possible to believe. Surrounded by lies and your refusal to tell us what you know. I cannot betray my people. You already betrayed your people, Admiral. You've made your choices, sir. You're a traitor. Now, if the bitter taste of that is unpalatable to you, I'm sorry. I will not risk my crew. You think that there's doubts in the edge of those influence. Cross over. You make yourself comfortable. Any children?
Sore subject. No.
Not yet.
Give it about 25 years. I'll get there eventually. Which is why I commit massacres in the state's name.
Not to boy. It's cool. Go on. Your father is a treat.
So give us some fucking secrets.
Mhm.
Oh, look at all the anticipation in the room. They're all excited.
Great. Board. You break guarding engines, weapons, and the cloaking systems of the Warbird class starship. But I believe his experience as a field commander will be more valuable for its strategic sense than any edge of Hellcat. Dr. Bennett, for all we know, he may still be lying, but we shall find that out soon enough.
Worf is not convinced.
He's really not. You can tell. You just have to
Yeah,
look at his face. Like, nope, I don't
yeah.
trust him. It's just it's in his nature. He does not trust the Romulan.
No.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Again, again, a little scene like that is great because you just see how every individual character would respond in that situation. You saw Jordy there, like his mouth dropped, was like, "I want to learn about cloaking," and like Worf is like, "Smell a rat. He's a
Like
fucking rat." I'm telling you.
these next few minutes are just so good.
Yeah.
George Armstrong. Better luck.
Hmm.
Engage impulse.
Again, they've been very on the nose with the allegories and the little historical references. I suppose like there's the argument that like they're talking within the 24th century, so it is like it's also going like Mesopotamia had a very similar situation to this. It's like I don't even know what that is, but fair enough. Standing up in unison, that's what you call a power play, lads.
Scanning the planet, sir. No life forms, no power sources, no weapons systems. No indication of a
I have to
base.
say, like, Starfleet, the Enterprise really do have like the ensigns with nerves of steel. Because if you had to have those two fuckers like breathing down your necks while you're piloting the ship, you have to be fucking good. Like these guys must end up having to be fucking commanders at least in Starfleet. Even Data's confused.
Maybe they no scarring on the planet's surface that no heavy construction of any kind. Cloaking device of some sort. Hide the entire base. Cloaking device operating on the surface would be given away by visible distortion. That should get explain why we are here. There doesn't appear to be a base.
Hmm.
Nelvana. No sign of any life at all. Finding confusion was assigned to this section. Is it possible they could have been feeding you disinformation?
This information in the 24th century, because see some traditions have stayed true.
You
What's this? It must be a new Praetor, Praetor Trump, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the best ears. Some say maybe the best ears, the best hair.
Daphne has
You
the
know,
biggest ship.
he does. Nobody else has bigger ships than me do. I make the best ships. I the biggest ships, the bigliest ships. No women. Hmm. Well, shit. The coordinates are where we just got hit.
those are helios. On screen. Oh, I hardly expect
As soon as you hear the voice.
Hello. So nice of you to be here. Get the fuck off my front lawn.
that. Morning, good morning. The Romulan incurred Nelvana 3. But Captain, as you can see,
The actor, I don't know if maybe this is me, and we might talk about it after the episode. But the actor seemed to have been perfect to play a Ferengi, and he never did, and I'm furious at
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you just seem to have the exact kind of tone of voice to play like a
Hmm.
Brunt style character.
the cloak
Oh,
Satellite is an excuse for your aggressive charge across the neutral zone. You can believe what you wish. We will be on our way without even an apology.
I'm so sorry.
So I'm sick. Do it, Kamala. After we dissect your empathy files for every precious bit of information, I intend to display its broken hull in the center of the Romulan capital as a symbol of our victory. Will inspire our armies for generations to come. Serve as a warning to any other traitor who would create ripples of disloyalty.
Hmm. They got you.
All the time, all the records. Fiction. I've done it. Yes.
Oh, the quivering of the chin. Great touch.
The Enterprise into the neutral zone. First, Captain, you will return the traitor Jello. Then you will surrender as prisoners of war. You seriously expect me to accept those terms? No, Captain Picard. I expect you won't. You have 30 seconds to decide. I do not require one, Commodore. I urge you, Captain Picard. Surrender.
Please?
Consider
We could have tea.
the cause, just and honorable. They are prepared to give their lives. Are you prepared to die today, Tomolo? I expected more from you than an idle threat, Picard. Then you shall have it. Mr. Wall. Aye, sir.
Hmm.
Warships. Armed and ready, sir. What shall it be, Tomolo? Still not survive our assault. You will not survive ours. Shall we die together? I look forward to our next meeting, Captain. Romulan disruptors are.
I agree. Let's call it a draw.
Send appreciation, Federation, my personal gratitude to Klingons. Aye, sir. Take it back now.
You can imagine, you know, Riker is going like, "You son of a bitch, you did it again." It's okay. I'm sure you can find a nice little quiet place in Beta Z where you can relax. So there's that. Oh, well,
Like, you must know it would be impossible for us to deliver it. Today, perhaps. But if there are others with the courage of Admiral Jellic, we may hope to see a day of peace when we can take his letter.
and funny enough, I get the feeling that Picard would want to do it in the end.
Yeah. Could have given it to Spock
Yeah.
when he's on
Actually,
Romulus in the season or
what
two.
he... No, do you know what he could have done is he could have literally when you were in under the skies just go, "Oh shit, yeah, I have to post this letter. Hang on, there you go." Just fucking in the postbox straight away. That's. Do you know what? Now this makes so much sense. That's how they got caught on Romulus to begin with. They saw them posting a Defector's letter and going, "Wait a second, Admiral Admiral Jirok has been dead for 2 years. What's going on here?"
Wait a minute. Those are fake hands.
Those are fake ears. You're drinking the soup wrong. You don't use spoons. You just put
Yeah,
your face in it.
just put your face in it like it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And you're putting your face in cold water. Come on,
Yes,
that's the
it's
trend
called
nowadays, isn't it?
the kebab strategy. Yes, absolutely. So more on that story later on, but we are as obviously the episode done. Really fun watch, isn't it? It's such
Yeah,
a fucking good episode. It's like one of those ones where you're just looking at it and just think like it. It just the episode just gets better as it goes along. It's like it just hit after hit after hit. It just fucking does think it does things so well, so well.
it really does.
Um, yeah, it's fantastic. So with that in mind, then we get to our review in a couple of moments. But before we do that, we normally go through the kind of trivia of the episode, anything that's kind of worth noting. So usually on the show we talk about kind of any ships we've seen in the shipyards, but pretty much we've already covered that over the last episode, or last few episodes we've done. We've done the Deredex. The Romulan scout ship is very much a variation of stuff we've seen even from the original series. It hasn't changed that much, lads. It's just a different lick of paint. That's about it. So we don't need to kind of cover that ground really. And there is only a few real kind of guest actors. Obviously, there's a lot of extras and ensigns and red shirts that we're not going to do today, but we are going to talk about the kind of main actors that we saw from this show. So what I do here is I try and test Mr. Jerry Soul's knowledge of all the various actors that have showed up on the show, and not
Oh,
just
here
this
we
show,
go.
all across the galaxies of Star Trek to see how many times he's seen these faces before. So, there's a few ones that we're going to fly through very quickly because some of them are one and dones. We're going to start off with Simon Templeman, or S.A. Templeman for short. He was the character John Bates, who appeared right at the start of the episode in the King Henry play. So, he is literally that is the only time you see him in Star Trek. But the Star Trek connections don't end there for Simon Templeman. So Simon Templeman himself is a voice actor. So you'll see him in loads of different things. He actually shows up in a lot of video games. So you probably know him more as from Mass Effect 2 actually, where he has a couple of roles in that, namely as I think he is one of the Admiral Vaznima in that game, and a couple of other characters as well. He also appears in Dragon Age Origins and the Legacy of Kain series. He's actually the voice of Kain in the in the game
Ooh,
series. Yeah.
love that series. That's a great
Yep.
series.
So that is actually Kane you were talking you were listening there to. So fun fact.
Nice.
He also shows up as Derek Garrison in Fallout 76 to be precise. So you'll see him in a couple of that. Otherwise, he's in The Neighbours as Larry Bird. So there you go. Not the Australian soap, the actual TV series in The Neighbours. So there you go. Fun fact for you on that one. But like I said, he does have a link to Star Trek, and hilarious enough, he's married into it. He is the husband of Rosalind Chow.
Oh, for fuck's sake, okay.
Yeah, there
That's,
you go.
oh, wow, okay. That's Jesus, okay.
Yeah,
I
there you
don't.
are. Nepotism for you. If
Yeah,
O'Brien
well,
gets a gig on Star Trek, so does the fucking husband. Job solved.
oh, I'd say he was looking at. I'd say, Jesus Christ. I'd say he was looking to get away from my wife, you bastard.
I'd say he was like, yeah, it's like, hang on, you're getting married to fuck your man from the Snapper? That's a lot of shite. That is. I'm not having that. No, I'm not having that. What,
I'm
Mr.
not,
fucking
I'm
Georgie Borges is your husband? Fuck off.
Jesus Christ, imagine.
He's English. In fairness, he's English, so he
Oh,
might
okay.
be aware of Roddy Doyle, so that would work.
Okay.
So yeah. The other person, another one and done we've had is someone we've already seen on the show or around this Best of All Worlds thingy we're talking about here, which is John Hancock, who played Admiral Hayden, Vice Admiral Hayden, I should say, because we already watched The Wounded on this series, so he shows up in that as well, and I think he shows up in a couple of other episodes as well. I remember him in the Drumhead as well, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
so
right.
yeah,
Yeah, he walks out of the trial.
Yes, he does. Yeah. So yeah, John Hancock is he's been around the block a good bit himself. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1992 of a heart attack. So actually, wouldn't have been long dead after this episode
No.
actually, because I think this episode came out in 1990. So yes, he would have died 2 years after this came out, which is obviously a shame. In terms of other work, you would have known him in Airplane 2. He was in a couple of other TV shows like LA Law. He was Judge Armand in that, and a couple of other things, bits and pieces as well. But that would have been his kind of main role. But again, we've covered John Hancock on this series as well, so we won't dwell. Next up then is Andreas Katsoulas, who played the character Tomalak. So we'll talk about Tomalak shortly, but Jerry, Mr. Katsoulas has appeared before, or indeed again, in Star Trek. But can you tell me where and how?
Oh wow. Oh wow. Um. Oh geez, I can. Okay, it was Voyager.
Okay,
Voyager.
it wasn't Voyager.
It was or wasn't.
It wasn't Voyager. No.
Jesus, where I don't. I see. I can picture it.
Hmm.
Oh no, it was Enterprise.
It was Enterprise. Can you please name
Yes.
the episodes?
I don't know the name of the episode, but basically it's a new race that Captain Archer meets, and he goes into his son's Corona in a tiny little ship with him.
Excellent. Yes, it was the episode Cogenitor. It was the one where Tucker learns about genders. Yeah. Tucker Goes Woke is the episode title, I think. But yes, he's a character Drenick in that episode, and yes, he does indeed have that exchange with Archer as he's stuck on the ship there. So yes, he is. That is the exact same guy. In fairness, the makeup was good enough that you actually wouldn't tell straight away, because they put a lot of detail on his face for the Romulan kind of stuff as well, and obviously the hair is very different too.
It's
but
more
yes,
the voice you'd recognize straight away, in fairness.
Oh, definitely, yeah. That's absolutely for sure. But yes, Andres Katsoulis. So we'll talk about the actor first before we get into the character, because obviously the character has a bit more depth to it in terms of various episode appearances. Unfortunately, Katsoulis has passed away. He passed away in 2006, actually. I think he died of lung cancer, I believe. Yes, he was a terminal lung cancer. He was apparently a very heavy smoker. And as you mentioned earlier on, he is well known for being Kagar in Babylon 5. Again, under heavy prosthetics, you wouldn't know it's him beyond the voice. And like I said, it's one of those as is often the case with any of those kind of sci-fi shows, the alien character is always the most distinctive one. It's everyone remembers Worf first beyond the other people in Star Trek, and then people always remember Kagar from that as well. But yes, would you believe actually Tomalak is one of his first gigs. He has a few kind of major, a few pops out in there from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. Because he despite the name is obviously kind of more kind of Baltic in nature, but he is actually from Missouri. But he shows up in a kind of various different kind of works and ones and dones. But his first real role is actually as Mr. Bartlett in Max Headroom. Funny enough, and then he kind of moves on. Then is one of the more reoccurring roles would be as Tomalak in The Next Generation, and then really Kagar was his biggest role. Really, it has to be said. Beyond that, then he did a few kind of voice acting roles beyond that. But then Enterprise was one of his last roles before he retired, and obviously for obvious reasons wasn't really around beyond 2003. So that's Andreas Katsoulis, who played Tomalak. Tomalak himself is a curious character as well. Again, another one of these ones where he appears in 4 episodes of Next Generation. So we would have seen him in The Enemy. We would have seen him. He was technically in Future Imperfect. This is one of those kind of Mandela effects where you feel like Tomalak shows up in a lot more episodes when actually he doesn't. He only shows up in 2. Realistically 2 episodes. The other one is a flashback, and the other one is a hologram. So he only pops up twice, really, when you think about it.
The other one's a hologram.
Yeah, he's a hologram in Future Imperfect.
Oh God, yeah, that wasn't even really him. Jesus, yeah.
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 Yeah. So like I said, the other episode would have been The Enemy, which is obviously the one with LaForge and the Romulan getting stranded. So really, you only the crew only interact with him twice. Really, the other 2 are kind of don't really like in a sense don't particularly count. Um, so in terms of like now, Tom Locke does show up a lot in the extended works, if you like. So technically he has served. His first like actual appearance in timeline in the Apocrypha was as a Centurion, um, and apparently he would have transported Spock to a scout ship to escape the Romulan Neutrazol. So there's a fun fact for you. Then he would have encountered the Enterprise beyond a certain point. Um, is there any kind of like there's a few kind of like timey wimey stuff in some other works as well. And yeah, any other kind of other characters. So he would like Tom Locke kind of shows up as almost like he's always the Romulan commander that shows up to other people. So like in other kind of like starships that like interact in the neutral zone, it's always Tom Locke that seems to answer. So I guess maybe it's just like I suppose like kind of, if you want to use a metaphor, his beat is the neutral zone itself, bordering the neutral zones, which is why he probably shows up so much. Weirdly enough, that in one of the Marvel comics for Deep Space Nine, he does appear in that as well, and that's kind of he basically works. He's working on a mission with his son together with the Maquis, which is interesting. So his son wiped out the Maquis cell and kidnaps Jake Sisko. And basically Tom Locke is a integral to the plot there for a bit as well. And funny enough, he arrives with Tabok, which of course is Mark Alamo as a Romulan. So again, whoever's in the comic there knows exactly what they're up to there in that regard. So then you have other ones then as well. So he shows up in a few different novels. He meets Picard in one of them. He always seems to kind of has kind of like either villainous turns or babyface turns, depending on who's writing. It's always the case like, I like that guy, I'm gonna make him a nice guy instead. But you think he'd probably show up more in kind of the post like Picard stuff and all that, but not really. He's in a good bit of Star Trek Online. So apparently he became the fleet commander after Shinzon's coup, which is interesting, and then apparently holds that role up to that point. We actually don't know what happens to him after Supernova. So him and I'm sure a lot of other Romulans that we are aware of, they just seem to go ground. They're either they're dead, or they just don't have their influence on the world beyond that point. So yeah, I think that's like, again, that probably leads into the Mandela effect a little bit, in that he shows up a lot more in the other works to make you think that he's a more prominent character when he actually isn't. Which is a shame. Okay then, so our last one then is I suppose our main event really. It's James Sloyan, who plays Admiral Jarrock. So Jerry, I'm going to quiz you on this one now. How many times have you seen James Sloyan in Star Trek?
I can only I can only remember 3,
Okay.
and that is no. I know I'm wrong. I know when I say 3, I know I'm wrong. I know it's more than 3, or I think it's more than 3.
Okay.
The 3 that I know of are obviously Admiral Jarrock.
Yes.
Then I just have a feeling there's another next gen. There's another next gen appearance for a different character.
You are correct with that. Yes.
I am. Oh, okay. So then it's 4.
Oh, okay. So do you want to call your 4 then?
So Jarrock, another next gen character that I don't know.
We'll get to that. We'll go back to that one. Yeah.
Essentially, Doctor, I can't remember his name, but essentially Odo's dad in Deep Space Nine.
Correct. Yeah, Maura Paul. Yeah.
And he played a character that was like the nemesis of Neelix in Voyager. He was the guy that created the super weapon that wiped out a lot of Neelix's people. But other than that, exactly I can't remember the 4th one. Now the thing is, there could be even more, but I just felt like the Jarrock and then one other one in Next Gen, and then there was one Deep Space Nine and one Voyager. So I'm saying 4.
And 4 is the correct answer. So you got 3 out of the 4 there, which is very impressive. So yes, obviously Jarrock from the Defector is what we know him from the start. His next role is then in Deep Space Nine as Maura Paul. As you said, essentially Odo's surrogate dad, really. He obviously appears in I think 2 episodes ultimately in that one. Jetrel was the character you're thinking of in Voyager. Again, as I said, Neelix's nemesis, exactly as you described him there, spot on. The character you're thinking of from Next Generation is from the episode Firstborn, Does that episode ring a bell?
Firstborn.
If I told you he was a Klingon,
Ah, shit. Ah, fuck it anyway. He plays Alexander, for Christ's sake.
future Alexander Rashenko, yes, or
Son
Kamatar.
of a bitch. I knew there was another one in Deep Space Nine. I just knew it. I'm
Yeah.
like, God
No,
damn it.
yeah. So that was Next Generation, yeah. So that was one of is yeah. First one was one of those episodes. You think it's DS9, but it actually is TNG. It's a weird one.
It's because of the
Um,
Klingon connection. That's why I think it's Deep Space Nine.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
listen, I didn't do too bad there. I knew there was
no, he
four,
did very well actually. Yeah,
and I
I
knew
think he did
three
very
of
well.
them, but I just didn't know the fourth
Yeah.
what it was. But okay, no,
If,
that's fine. I concede
yeah.
that one. That's fine.
It very like I think like again I think with the actor sometimes the eyes are always the giveaway, and like just when you kind of see the side by side comparison of like Jarok and Rashenko, the eyes are the same, kind
Yeah,
of way. It's like some
very
people
much
just
so.
can't
Yeah.
hide on the prosthetics, yeah. So in terms of the man himself, James Sloyan is still alive, age 85, would you believe, and
Wow,
he's still going strong as of time of recording, and yeah, his body of work starts in 1970 and it goes
it's
on.
huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's incredible. Again, it's one of those ones where he appears up. He did a lot of medical dramas, funny enough, at the start. Which again, the 70s were the decade of the medical drama, so that's probably no shock. So you'll see him in the majority of those type of shows. His first, like, kind of like, shall we say, his most regular haunt would have been O'Madeline as a character Charlie Wayne, and then he would have done a couple of movies back and forth and stuff like that. He was in MacGyver, he was in Matlock, Murder She Wrote as like three different fucking characters, so that's another Mandela effect there, I suppose. And yes, he would have obviously showed up in a couple of other one and dones. He was Frank Nollet in the X Files, for example. And I think he would have been in Chicago. Yeah, I think his most recent actually work was actually The Young and the Restless, which was back in 2000. But since then he's been retired. So,
Huh?
and rightfully so. I mean, fuck it, you made your money, you might as well relax.
Mm.
But yes, beyond that, like he was also in Quantum Leap and Doctor Quinn and stuff like that. So very much one of those characters that just pops up in a show and goes, "Oh yeah, that guy." So which is what Star Trek is very much built on, is those type of people that just pop in and do a job. It's part of the trade. So, but there you go. So there's our guest stars for this episode. So now it's on to the review. So, um, overwhelmingly positive for me anyway, but we'll see how far the score gets us. So as we often do, as you'll see now above us right now, is our basically our little score sheet here, where we basically split it into categories, try and compare the episode on its merits, and basically see what final score we get out of it. Will it trouble Way the Warrior with the 98 out of 100? We shall see. Again, don't rule it out until we know for sure. If it has a stinker of a category, then we can rule it out definitely. Let's start off with the plot then, anyway. So obviously the opening gambit, we have Romulan Defector crossing the neutral zone, asking for asylum, a little bit of investigation, a little bit of sleuthing, finds out that he's actually more high profile than he's let on, and then obviously hilarity ensues when we find out it was actually all a trick. It was all a test of his loyalty, and then the Enterprise are stuck in behind enemy lines. Oh shit! Good thing we brought friends. That's a fucking phenomenal plot for a mid-season episode.
Yes.
Like, that's a huge fucking plot. Like, that's a two-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That could easily have led into a two-parter. You could have actually had a proper incident there, whereas all the ships were converging, and how are we going to stop this war from starting? This could potentially have actually led into a new Federation Romulan war, but Gene Roddenberry at the time, he wasn't big on he didn't want Starfleet to go to war. He didn't want the Federation to go to war. Didn't mind the old fight every now and then. The odd
Who amongst us doesn't like an outstrap?
the odd banger every now and then. But other than that, no, he wasn't. I suppose he wasn't outright against it, but he didn't want it. So that's why we never actually saw a proper war until after he had passed away. But essentially he didn't want them to go to war, so that's why we didn't see it. So people have been asking for a long time that they wanted to see the Federation Romulan War, and that's when Alex Kurtzman came out with these new shows, it was a thing with, are we finally going to see it? We so nearly saw an Enterprise. We were this close. Had we gotten, and they've said it time and time again, if we had gotten one more season, we would have gotten the Romulan War, which
Yeah.
you saw the starting of it. You saw how the Federation formed. The
Mm.
Federation formed because of the Romulans, which is fantastic to think of. It's like they wanted to get Earth to fuck off, and
Yes.
instead they created an alliance between between Earth, the Vulcans, the Hellrites. There we go. Jeez.
And the Endurance, yeah.
And the Andorians, and that's where
Yes.
the first alliance, the very starting, the big four as they call them,
Yeah.
the big four in to start the Federation. So essentially, the Romulans created their own greatest enemy.
Yeah. It's a great irony. Yeah.
So I would have loved to see, a new season where new ship designs came in, fighting between the Romulans and the newly formed Federation. Unfortunately, we never got to see it. You kind of see little bits of it in things. If I was to say, if I was to look at, let's create a new series, I wouldn't mind if they did that. Even if it was a little bit of a fast forward type of thing, and where the war begins and we actually have President Archer instead of Captain Archer, I wouldn't have minded that type of thing. And then obviously now, various different things, you see conflict between the Romulans and Federation, but you never really see it properly. And then of course we go all the way to the 31st century, 30th century?
Yes, 31st century,
for Discovery. And, Romulans and Vulcans have come together and they're one race again, and they've joined the Federation. So I'm like, well, that's bullshit. I want to see them fighting. What the fuck, like?
I think you kind of answered your own question there, really, in the sense where, like, it's like with Kurtzman kind of like teasing about, like, doing the kind of the Federation Romulan War. Did you see how he did the fucking Federation Klingon War? Hard pass. He can fuck off. Like, bottle job. Absolute fucking bottle job. Like, listen. We're not talking about new Trek today. We need that to be honest. Yeah.
The way I look at that is that first series was him finding his feet in Star Trek.
Yes.
Didn't do it very fucking well.
No.
I did like the mirror universe stuff. I really did. I thought that was interesting. It was like we've never really delved into like the proper politics of it, and how sneaky they actually can. We knew they were evil fuckers, but we didn't know they were that bad. But Jesus Christ, I thought that was good. They came back with the second season, and the Klingons had been changed. So that look, the horrible look from the first season, was slightly gone. It kind of taken it away a little bit. We got to see D7 battle cruisers as well, which was fucking amazing. They were amazing in that second season. And then, of course, we just had to wait for I think it was the second season of Strange New Worlds to see the Klingons back properly, and they were badass in Strange New Worlds. Let's be honest, Strange New Worlds is fantastic. It blows Discovery out of the water.
It helps when you actually listen to the people who are directly involved in the production of Star Trek since the beginning, and maybe don't like plow your own furrow, arrogantly thinking that you know better when you really fucking don't.
Yeah. Like case in point, Picard season 3.
Yeah.
Every part of Stranger Worlds.
Yeah.
It's just you only have to take those points and go, that's the way you should have done it from the start.
Yeah. Exactly.
Had Picard season 1 been Picard season 3, we would have got 3 sensational seasons of Star Trek. Now, I don't dislike Picard. I actually really like. I've only just done a rewatch of Picard fully.
Yeah.
And I actually really do like the first 2 seasons. I actually love season 2 for the fact that at the end of season 2, you look at Q in a completely different light. Because everything he's ever done with Picard, and again, once you use hindsight and then you rewatch the Q episode, you realize, Jesus Christ, that's what he was doing all along. Is that he was never fucking with Picard. It was never about fucking with Picard. It was about teaching Picard. Every single interaction with Q was a lesson.
Yes.
Every single one of them. And even afterwards, like even the dialogue that he uses after he's fucked with Picard in a particular episode, like Cupid, that's him fucking, but that's him fucking with Picard. That's him saying,
"Come on, lighten up for fuck's sake."
Essentially lighten up. And like, this woman, he's without saying, he's like, "You have a woman here. She wants you. Why are you fucking this up?" That's essentially it. Like, obviously, it goes really in depth in Picard season 2, and Jesus, it goes heavy. That's heavy.
And it's
That's
very
a heavy
personal to
season.
Patrick Stewart himself
Yeah,
as well. Like, kind of bears himself on the cross quite a bit
exactly.
in that show. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a heavy, heavy season. But then
Mm,
when you look at Q in that season, is that you think from the start is like, oh my God, this is Q being the ultimate fucking dick. He's absolutely just destroying everything. It was never about destroying everything. He could have just clicked his fingers, they would have been back at the Stargazer, and that would have been it.
exactly. Yeah.
That would have been it. He needed Picard to be lifted, to have this thing that was hanging over his soul essentially gone. He
Yeah.
needed it gone. He couldn't take that away from him. He had to do it himself. So that's
Exactly.
what,
Yeah.
like, I love that interaction. And I actually was actually part of that was a conversation I had with the great man himself, John Delancey,
Yeah.
about this, and he just loved the dynamic of it. He loved how that whole season went, and how by the end of it, you know that Q has never been a villain.
Yeah.
He has never been a villain in all of Star Trek. Q has never been a bad guy, never.
Yeah, like it's always evident. Like again, even take Picard out of it. Like I think All Good Things kind of does that job as well, in the sense where
Mm.
like all of it has been like it's like no, I've actually been this has been to get you to this point. Like
Yeah,
this is like it's always like Q has always been that kind of like Q has been in my view a taskmaster in that
hmm,
respect. Like he has
yeah,
been the person who's like this is where you're trying to get we're trying to get you to this point. And as I said, Picard season two kind of drills that home by making it very personal to them, to him and Picard in that respect. But even to tie it into the kind of the Romulan aspect of it as well, is that what season one of Picard did really well is that actually make the Romulans more was recognizable in that respect. It's the kind of fact that, like, actually no, they do have a culture, they do have a way about them as well. It's just that we've never learned it at this point. Like genuinely,
yeah.
the first time you actually kind of see Romulans as kind of like not necessarily allies, but certainly like equals or people that we can actually try and relate to is probably fucking Nemesis, to be honest. It was like, I'll share Romulan with you if you get through the end of this. It's like, okay, that's a start. That
Well,
counts as diplomacy, doesn't it?
I disagree slightly there. I would have gone more with Deep Space Nine, season
Oh,
six.
true enough, actually, yeah, with the cloaking device and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that was
The,
kind of started
the
too. Yeah,
cloaking device, and then when they had, when they'd retake Deep Space Nine,
yeah, yeah.
it was oh, what was her name? The Romulan
I know.
that was on the station.
I know. I can't remember her name. I
Oh
know who you're talking
Jesus,
about, but I can't remember the name myself.
Senator Freitag. Is it
Bika,
Senator
yes,
Freitag?
yeah,
So yeah, she's there, and you do see like the bad side of things, where it's like, we're not leaving, we're going to Durna, we're going to put fucking weapons on Durna to protect our warbirds and to protect our
mm,
people. So fuck you, Bajor. But you do see other sides to them, and even when it goes to Inter Arnhem Einem Silent Legacy, I
Silent
butchered
Legacy,
that
yeah.
name, but even that episode, you realize the fucking head of the
Mm,
Tal Shiar, the head of the Tal Shiar, not just an operative, the head of the Tal Shiar is working for Starfleet. What the fuck?
yeah.
You know, so it's very, very, very interesting. But literally, let's get back to our point here.
It's been a
This
while since
is
we had a
it,
tangent on this show. It's
exactly,
been a
yeah.
while. Can you tell that we're relaxed with our pacing this episode, and we're doing
We
we're ahead
definitely
of
need to
time,
get.
Jerry.
I tell you what, we definitely need to get the pacing a little bit better. So let's let's
Yeah,
let's
that's fair.
let's kick it into overdrive. Yeah, I'm gonna score this great plot, absolutely fantastic. For a mid season third season episode, like fucking hell, this
Mm,
absolutely did the job. It Ron sealed the shit out of this. It exactly did what it's up to 10. For me, it's a 10.
I'll give it a 10 too. Like I said, I
No,
think
no,
for
you
an
can't.
for a
No,
count-
you can't give it 10 too. It has to be just 10.
Oh, forgive me. Sorry. Okay, apparently 12s are not allowed.
No, no. Here, if 12s were allowed, Way to Warrior would be 156.
It's fucking woke nonsense. Anyway, so so yeah, as I said, like I think we said it out from the start. To just basically just to kind of come out with an episode like this
Hmm.
in the middle of your run, and it's not even to give it full beans because bear in mind this is still the same season that is going to give you yesterday's Enterprise, Best of Both Worlds, all these different other episodes we haven't touched yet. I think the Drumhead is in the season as well. Like the Next Generation is a phenomenal, or season three is a phenomenal season of Star Trek. Phenomenal season of most like sci-fi TV as well. It's kind of hard to. I'm trying to like find a season that has that so many hits in a series of sci-fi. Like there's like I think season 3 or 4 of like Stargate SG-1 really kind of clicked with me as well. For like, there's something
Yeah.
happening every fucking episode, and
Hmm.
like it's the season where they do the golf. They have the fucking the time loop, and they're just playing golf. Like that's the levity episode. That's the one where just they just have the fucking crack. But like, but again, it's always a kind of thing like sci-fi in particular. Like the first season's always bedrock. It's always establishing, getting shit through, making sense of everything. But it's when everyone's in their groove and comfortable in their characters, and you have a few kind of enough kind of rolling people around to go, fuck it, let's do an episode about them and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I've said it before about season 3. I'm just going to name episodes here: Booby Trap, Who Watches the Watchers, The Survivors, The Enemy, The Defector. We watched already. Deja Q, A Matter of Perspective. That's a sleeper as well. Yesterday's Enterprise, The Offspring, Sins of the Father. That's all in quick succession. They're three of them together. Like there's no breaking them. Sarek is this season as well, and then the Best of All Worlds. That's a fucking incredible season. And like I said, like so like they obviously are economic with what they do in this episode, but there's certain things that see this episode does phenomenally well, better than most episodes of Star Trek. And certainly its opening gambit of like, let's have a defector cross enemy lines. Boom, you don't have to say anything else. That's we're sold. Let's fucking start writing that episode.
It writes itself. That
It
writes
does.
itself essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think 10 out of 10, absolutely very, very easy scoring there.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up then is settings. So again, it's one of those ones for me. I think they were very economical with how they shot this episode and how what they did with the episodes. Like there was nothing on the scout ship really beyond the little display that we got initially at
Mhm.
the start of the episode. Nothing on this Romulan ship again, same thing with just the displays. Everything was still very much on the Enterprise, and
Yeah.
it was very much a case like I think the drama really wasn't in the set. Well, I suppose you also had like the kind of the opening stuff with the Shakespearean scene as well, but I think what will really kind of factor into my scoring here with setting is that it's more points somewhere else, if that makes sense. The real energy was with the people as opposed to the sets and the
100% agree.
location.
There was
So
one part
yeah.
of it though for me that was different was the interrogation.
Yes,
So the
that was good. I
interrogation
like
room hadn't been used before. This I think was the first time they'd used it, and then they used it
yeah,
again for Drumhead.
for Drumhead, yeah.
So this was something new, and
Mm.
we'd never really seen a proper interrogation in Star Trek,
Huge,
and especially
massive
by
room.
by
Yeah,
Starfleet as well, which was
yeah.
completely different. You'd expect it from the Romulans, from the Klingons, whoever else. You don't
Mm.
expect it from Starfleet. So this was definitely different. You also see as well, and I'm just going to be picky here now because it has to be done. They're always very good with their lighting.
Yes,
Always very good with their
that
lighting.
was
So
I had that point as well. Yeah,
when you look at the it's not the ready room. Well, actually, yeah, part of the ready
it is a
room
ready
would have
room.
been the
Yeah,
same. But the other room as well. What's the other conference room? Is it, or
yes, conference room.
it
Yeah,
was always dark.
yeah,
We know that room can be much brighter, but it was
yeah,
always dark. They did the exact same thing just a couple of episodes later in Best of Both Worlds, kept it dark.
yeah.
That room is always fucking brighter when things are happy, but when it's not, it's dark. So it's very, very good. Now, do I think this is a 10? Probably not. What do
I
you
had
think?
I had it between 7 and 8 personally. That's where I had it.
Let's meet in the middle there and go 7.5.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that's a fair score.
I think so too. Yeah, because like I said, it's one of those things where like we do have to give plaudits to when they set a scene well, and as I said, like they always seem to get the observation lounge right, don't they? In terms of like that, because we had that when we are talking about the wounded as well. Is that like the silhouetting, the shadowing, the obscuring of like the rest of the room is always well done. It's what they must
Yeah,
love shooting on that set or something like that. They just love going all
yeah.
fucking cinema on that. Next up then is the writing, and I genuinely have no fucking notes beyond this. It's a 10. It's
I don't think we need to
immaculately
say
written
anything.
episode.
There
Yeah,
is nothing more that needs to be said other than this is a 10 out of 10 episode.
yeah.
The writing was exceptionally done.
Mm,
Congratulations to who did it because you're a fucking master.
yeah, it's
That's
fantastic.
it.
Like, yeah,
That's it.
it no, it honestly, no, we have to give her laurels when we see it because
Mhm.
the the important thing about this episode is that obviously you could just have kept it at face value. Like, okay, we made the correlation with Duet earlier in the when we were talking when we were
Yeah.
watching the episode, and again, Duet is the same episode but different in that respect. Because with Duet, like the dynamic is you're essentially talking from the essentially the genocide enabler to the person who's had genocide committed against them, right? So the dynamic is totally different. It is a victim versus culprit dynamic there, whereas this is more of a geopolitical situation where like now we have the opportunity here for a massive advantage, or we also have the opportunity to fuck this up royally and all hell breaks out. And again, they've already established in the episodes that the Federation is not like the actual, if you like, the militant part of the Federation is not there anymore. They're now gone back to exploring. They're gone back to they're doing the outer rim of the galaxy. They're building up allies. They're building up resources, all this sort of stuff. And again, it's only really when they encounter the Borg they basically pull a handbrake and go, for fuck's sake, right? We better start building some more fucking ships now, you know. So it's that kind of thing where like this is peacetime and they want to keep peacetime as it is. And again, that reflects how the writers grew up in essentially in an age but after World War II, but also during the Cold War where everyone was on eggshells. You know, it's easy for us to say that now because we've lived through the war in Iraq and obviously what's happening on the world right now, and that's a powder keg in of its own right. Several powder kegs in the world at the minute, and one of them has a fucking giant fucking toupee. So like, it's that aspect of like you're trying not to fucking set anyone off in that aspect. So that's always gonna be reflected in the writing of our generation, if you like. So it's no surprise here that a Cold War allegory is so easy to write here because it was so easy to write back in the Balance of Terror. In the same way with the Enterprise incident and all these other ones, it comes naturally because that's how you feel. But there's a different level to it when you're able to bring an allegory from something completely different, from like say from Shakespeare, let's say, and draw it into almost like it's almost a misdirect. Like the episode starts off with like Data trying to learn how to act,
Uh-huh.
but what you actually want to do is now like that. This is Data trying to be more human and be more subjective and trying to learn how what that's all about. And then later on in the episode, Picard's asking, by the way, I need you to be as objective as possible here because we as humans are going to get this wrong. So I need you to be perfect and to not buy into our bullshit. I was like, that's incredible fucking turnaround. And again, that's you can only do that when your writing is immaculately done. For it to be believable and not to be just a weird little fucking heel turn you do midway through the script. It's superb work, and again, that's stuff that you need to applaud when you see it because it's you could very easily lose that star turn in writing if you don't draw attention to it. So that's why it's the 10 for me.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Then we go to the acting, and this is your field, Jerry. So what caught your eye on this one?
I'm just going to give my score a fucking 10 out of 10. And the reason I say
Oh.
10 out of 10 again, so that's three tens.
Yeah.
No, it's not three tens. It's
It is 3 10s, yeah.
yeah, 10. Yeah, so three tens.
Yeah.
The action in this was superb. Even to a minor character in this episode, and that's what he was, right? There was a minor character in this episode.
Mm.
Everything from how he spoke to his facial expressions to like the disdain he had for the Romulan. Everything.
Mm.
Then you've got Admiral Jerok. My God, he's just every episode this man is in
Mm.
is fucking exceptional. He's such a good, and the fact that you're telling me like he's still around, but he's been retired now 20 odd years.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like he's a powerhouse, absolute fucking powerhouse. Anything that Commander Tomalak is in, it's just absolutely brilliant. But
Mm.
then you look at the likes of Picard and Data. It's just God. It's honest to God, it is just it's one of those episodes that nothing goes wrong.
Hmm.
All the acting is 10 out. All the acting for me is 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10.
It's a well-directed episode, I thought, because
Oh yeah,
like I think the mark of a good director is trying to actually like register or like resonate with the actors what you need, what kind of energy do you need in this moment. And it's something sounds like a poorly directed episode, and in fairness there's very little of them in the Next Generation. They know it typically has a very good record on that. You see it more in the makes maybe the bit of Voyager and early DS9 where they kind of get the tone wrong and stuff like that. And certainly in New Trek it's guilty of it a good bit, especially in Discovery. But a good director knows what the vibe is with the actors and how to get them across. And sometimes you just have to tell the actors, what would you be like in this situation? Like the observation lounge scene strikes it with me is that like the reaction when you hear that Jorok gives away all the confidential secrets, everyone reacts differently in that room, and it's not all positive. Like some are cagey and some are buzzing, and that's natural because they're all a diverse bunch of people that should feel differently.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just talking
um,
again. For me, it's 10 out of 10. So
yeah, absolutely.
this is actually scoring quite high.
Again, this is from I think its real rival here is going to be Duet. I'm fascinated to see how it lines up to that.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Next up then is the action. So we have a lot at the start.
There's
Yeah.
actually a good bit in this. It actually
There's a good
is.
bit in this,
You've
yeah.
got,
Yeah.
you've got the action, obviously, the scout ship getting attacked and getting fired upon, then it gets destroyed.
Yes.
Then you've got, and we've never really seen it before. We get two Romulan warbirds attacking Enterprise.
Yeah.
Not just threatening to attack, actually attacking them, firing on. This is the flagship of the Federation. This is the ship in all of Starfleet, and they've just been attacked by two Romulan warbirds. Like what the hell? Like you
It's
can
quite
actually
light
see
offense as well. Like
exactly.
As it said in the script, it was soft. It was soft offense. Like,
But that's all they were doing was trying to goad Picard and the Enterprise into an actual fight. So then they could go right. Let's actually knock the bejesus out of them because when you look at the start of the episode, it's very light. They only lightly attack the scout ship, and again they only lightly attack the Enterprise because they want Picard and they want Starfleet to be the actual aggressors here. So they want them right. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Now, had the Klingons at the point of the Romulans attacking decloaked, that would have been the end of it. There would have been an actual fight then, and no amount of talking would have done it. But for me, there was actually a good amount of action in this. Now, is it Way of the Warrior? Is it Best of Both Worlds? No, of course not. But it's a nice amount that it sets up the tension at the start. The very first thing you see is the Romulan fighting the scout ship, and it sets up the tension along with that music, which we'll of course talk about. And that's a very easy category for me. Very easy. And then you've got that bit at the end where again you think, okay, there's no base here. They're just going to go and get out of the neutral zone, and then boom, they get attacked by two Romulan warbirds. Yeah. So I think it's a nice amount. There's something as too much action, and too much action can take away from the story. That's why something like Way of the Warrior needed the double header. Yeah, because if that was one episode, it would have been far too much, and it wouldn't have ranked the way it was. It wouldn't have. Yeah, there would have been far too much time spent on action. So it's a nice amount of action, a little bit at the start, a little bit at the end. It sets up absolutely every aspect of it. So I'd go an 8.
8 is what I had on my scorecard as well. So that
works
out pretty
perfect.
Yeah. Now, so the category I am having the most trouble with is the effects, and it was much of your point. The initial scene, the start of the episode, obviously they got the scaling of the ships wrong, which is obviously a reoccurring issue in Star Trek, and that's probably no news in that respect. In terms of other aspects, like the really only other kind of things I kind of picked out in terms of visual effects would have been the wounds on Jolok's face and stuff like that, and all this kind of stuff like kind of like lighting of certain scenes. I always put them like lighting and like the setup of the scene is always in setting for me, whereas like physical and like audio or visual effects and stuff like that are always in this category for me. So this one's a bit of a quiet category for me, unfortunately, and I think weighing in how they kind of fucked up the chase scene and they kind of won me back with a few little small bits here and there is what's kind of like has me a little bit mixed in this category personally.
Don't give me the score. Don't give me a score yet. Let's see if I can convince you otherwise. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we take the scaling part aside, okay, because that is just something that happens in Star Trek. Unfortunately, they don't get the scaling right. I think something that gets scaling really well is Star Wars. Star Wars gets scaling so unbelievably fucking perfect. It's never wrong. It's never bad. Everything is spot on. Whereas Star Trek, Jesus Christ, it's like, no, it just doesn't work. Saying that, this is the very first time you see a Romulan warbird do anything other than just sit there and uncloak and then decloak, or decloak and then cloak. You actually see it moving. It's chasing something else. It's shooting. You never see it shooting before. It's shooting at the scout ship. The scout ship is flying away. Those things, despite the fact that the scaling was terrible up until the scout ship is blown sideways and it goes into basically right beside the Enterprise. Obviously the scaling was bad, and then it got better at that point. It's the first time you ever really see a Romulan warbird moving, so
Yeah.
that was really good. And in the HD version, which of course we were watching, looked fantastic.
Yes.
The glow was better. The look, the lines were better on the ship. It just looked better.
Oh yeah.
Then you've got
sure.
the scout ship. We've never really seen this type. We've seen scout ships before, obviously, but we've never seen one like this.
Mm.
That looked really well, sitting right beside a much bigger Enterprise. You've then got the Enterprise turning to try and leave, and then it gets confronted by, again, that kind of generic Romulan warbird just sitting there. But then all of a sudden they start shooting. So there's more things. So the effect. So this is not a low scoring category. I think it's definitely the one that we're like, right. It's definitely not a 10, probably not an 8, but I wouldn't go any lower than a 6 to a 7.
A 6 is what I had on my score sheet, so
Let's go. Let's meet in the middle. Go 6.5.
6.5. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
that's perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, because like I said, I think it was the fact that, like, again, just this was an episode where, like, you didn't have to put on like extra makeup to make your point. Just let the actors act and let the writers write.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
the way I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like,
I totally agree.
Because they are very good at what they do. So, next up then is the score, and Jerry, this is your domain. What's your score on this one?
I don't think we can have any type of even discussion or argument over this. This to me was 10 out of 10. It starts off your typical Next Generation episode with the Next Generation music, and then you hear from Riker, we've just detected a Romulan ship coming into the neutral zone. Boom, and it's like nice and subtle, subtle. You then see them on screen, and then boom, it goes on a oh, Jesus Christ. And then it goes off screen. That's subtle again. Nice. It's just background music. And then you see it shooting. It's back into it again. Oh my God. And then right down there at the end of the episode, you get again that tension.
Yeah.
Are we going to escape? They turn around. They're getting shot up by 2 Romulan warbirds. It's a thing where that tension is going and going. Are we going to see? Is something's going to happen here? The Enterprise going to be destroyed? You get that smirk on Picard's face when he said, if it's just and honorable, they're prepared to give their lives. So it levitates just slightly there. It's like, yeah, when if you want to fight, we'll give you a fucking fight. I'm like, come on, bitch, come on, we got you. And then even you've got the classic, and I love how they do this. It's the one thing about Star Trek is that there's only one race in all of Star Trek, apart from one episode in Deep Space Nine, that another race had their own team. But the Klingons have their own team.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it was played right as they decloaked. I'm like, oh, so fucking perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Really well done.
And then you get through that scene. Jirok realizes he's been betrayed, and then you get the really, really somber music. And then it levitates to when Picard said, one day we will deliver this letter. Essentially, that's what he's saying. One day we'll deliver this letter, but not today. And it lifts up, and then you go back into that classic Next Generation team. It's a 10 out of 10. If I could go higher on this one, I would.
Yeah.
This is the one thing I will say about Star Trek. One thing I will say, and it doesn't matter whether it's old Trek, Next Generation era, or newer Trek. The music, it always hits.
Yeah.
Always hits. No matter what. So 10 out of 10.
I agree, yeah. Again, my always metric for whether it's a 10 or 10 or not, if it has that signature to it. If you could say, if you can listen to a piece of music from Star Trek and pick out the episode it came from.
Oh, yeah.
This is
100%.
like you're going to meet like those violin strings of when the Romulan warbirds appear. That is distinctive to that episode. You don't hear those strings anywhere else. You don't hear that tension and panic anywhere else. But as you said, it's the swell of when Picard goes like, no, this is a just cause. That is bespoke for the episode. That is stuff that, like, whoever's coordinating is like, no, we need to do something different here for this one. Otherwise it's not going to match.
Yeah.
And as you said, bringing in the Klingon, the Klingon run-ins, as it were, fucking able to come in with the music is just, the whole scene was immaculate. It was absolutely immaculately done. And yeah, absolutely, I agree with you on a 10 in that aspect. And again, quite conveniently enough, then we get to scenes then, and again, this is an episode that is just has some phenomenal scenes in it. I
It's
don't think
chock
it's wasted
full.
anything
It's
here.
absolutely chock full of scenes. You've got
Mm,
every interaction between Data and Picard, absolutely phenomenal. You got
yeah.
interaction in 10 forward between Jirok and Data, and then that leads into the holodeck. You even
Yes.
have the ready room scene between Jirok and
Mm,
Picard. That's good. But for me, it has to be the confrontation. It has
yeah.
to
It's
be
brilliant.
that confrontation scene. Everything about that scene, you've got Riker with his like, like I'm angry, but I
Now,
won't. I'm
yeah,
not going
yeah.
to say anything. I'm angry. You've got the like, how dare you, Tomalak, do this to us? But you know what? If you want to fight, we'll give you a fucking fight. And then that leads into like Tomalak talking to Jerok, and they're like,
Mm.
you're basically he's saying you're just a piece of shit traitor. We want nothing to do with you,
Yeah.
and then the realization. And it is that very much heartbreaking moment that Jerok realizes I did this for nothing. I gave up my life. I gave up my wife, my daughter for nothing.
Hmm.
Absolutely nothing. Just it has to be that scene. And it was so good. That's why when we talked about this, you had reminded me what episode we were watching. What did I say to you? I said, oh, I can't wait to watch this episode. The surprise at the end, that
Yeah.
scene. The surprise at the end, that scene. That's exactly what I said. Because this scene, for me, trumps everything else in this episode. It's so well done. It again, the lighting, the acting, the directing, everything in this scene was just absolutely perfect. And it has to be a 10.
It is, and I'm going with 10 on that one as well. Like it's again, it's one of those episodes where, like, again, much like my metrics, that like, can you take a scene directly out of the episode and stitch it back in anywhere else and know where it came from? And
Yeah.
the Defector is plumb full of those kind of episode
Oh, yeah.
of those scenes and those moments. The whole thing is quotable. The whole thing
Yeah.
is referred back to the previous to the previous work. It's just excellent. It's just
Yeah.
really well done. Again, it's sometimes it's easy to make good scenes when you have solid writing and excellent actors, and really that's all you like, for particularly in the next generation. That is the domain of solid writing and good actors. You know, sometimes you don't get that kind of balance right. Okay, DS9 is a bit of an out, is the obvious exception to the rule there, because again, look at who you're fucking working with there. But like, sometimes Voyager had shite to work with in terms of writing, and
Unfortunately, yeah.
sometimes in Enterprise the acting may not have been absolutely perfect, but the writing was actually better on closer review. And so, you always have that kind of balance as well. And again, the new Trek, we'll not get into it, but there's always that's a mixed bag at best times as well. But again, this is what happens when you have everything absolutely ideal. This is the ideal conditions for a good episode. And yeah, like I said, the scenes are just, there's too many to mention in just
Yeah.
one review. Just the entire episode is just banger after banger after banger. Next up then is character. So again, obviously there's a few people that kind of lead it, that are the main lead here. Um, Obviously there's a few quiet people in this episode. I think, like, everyone kind of gets their spots in terms of, like, in terms of Crusher and Geordi and Worf and Deanna not so much. The main star in this episode, obviously Jarok, is fantastic in his own right, and Tomalak, he's a great heel. Tomalak's a great heel. But Picard is the star of the show. Like, this is a very Picard episode for me personally.
I would agree with you there. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a Picard heavy episode, even though it's not even about him. This
Yeah,
is the thing.
exactly.
It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
about, but I'm going to redirect you. The
Sure.
reason I'm going to redirect you is we've had many Picard episodes where he's been the star of
Mm.
the show, so I want to give someone else their flowers. And
Go for it.
for me, it has to be Jirok. It has to be.
Yeah.
He he came in. Obviously tried to deceive them. He's like, no. You need to get to this base. Just I don't matter. I don't
Mm.
matter. Just go to this. I've sacrificed everything. Go to this. Then you realize this is fucking Admiral Jirok. This is a very very high ranking Romulan. He was
Mm.
in. He was part of the committee. He was on the Senate. He was there.
Yeah.
This is not just a captain on a ship. This is a guy who commanded fleets. This is a
Mm.
guy who commanded thousands and thousands of troops, and he has come across and he has literally defected, not so he could betray his people, but to save his people from a disastrous war, because that's what it would be.
Yes.
Now, how this is the thing. we were joking in the episode saying, "What, the Federation is prepared to take on the Romulans?" Of course they are. They've got their buddies, the Klingons, to come with them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This Federation wouldn't go to war on their own. Are you mad? The Klingons come in, and the Klingons would be like, "Yeah, come on, lad, let's go. Let's get
Yeah,
the fleet.
they
Let's get
don't
the
need a
band
second
back together."
invitation. Like, yeah.
Oh, they'd go straight in. So no, the Romulans would be absolutely fucked if that happened. Absolutely fucked. But for me, the start of the show was definitely Jirog. When you look at it, if we had never had a Picard episode, I would absolutely agree with you. But we've had Picard episode. We've had the Best of Both Worlds. We've had what's the episode directly after Best of Both Worlds?
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that alone is just Picard central. It's just absolutely fantastic. So I'm not giving this one to Picard. I'm just not doing it because Picard has so many other ones. So many other ones. I'm going to give this one to Jirok, and for me, 10 out of 10.
Okay, interesting. Because I had this down as a 9. And again,
you'll give it 10, Jonathan. You'll give it 10.
We'll give it 10 because I think you reason well here. Yeah. But like, because
the next category is not very good.
No, that goes without saying. But no, in fairness to the aspect, like again, my kind of position with Picard, like again, I'm looking at like kind of our kind of back catalogue, and like, there's an episode I'm looking at. I think it's the Bonds of Terror. I think it is that I'm thinking of, and we're looking for an episode where like. What was Kirk actually good at in the original series? What made Kirk as the captain that he is? Why is he actually
moosing women?
Well, it's not even that. No, it's like, but what Kirk is very good at is essentially that in that moment of a Mexican standoff is what to do next. Like he's got that danger sense. He's able to say, right, I need to go and do this thing here, play this gambit, almost like a little chess game, and that's what and this episode shows you why Picard is good at what he does as well. Like he's actually able to have an ace up his sleeve, even though he's trying to play diplomat and play calm. And well, he's playing calm in one aspect, in one side, and then on the other side, he's being very firm and pretty much shouting to like, going, "Give me your fucking secrets, commit to the fucking traitor," the kind of way. So there's all those different like levels to it where like he has to behave differently to different people. That's where I think the strength of Picard is, especially in this episode. But as you said, Jirok was a powerhouse. Again, it's exactly what you want from a guest star, especially someone who's central to the plot like this. It's like that is exactly the type of performance you need to put on, the exact type of character you want to go. Fuck, I wanted to see more of him, but now he's dead. You want to see more of him. You want to see more of Tomalak, but again, it's pretty much the last we see of Tomalak as well, which is a kind of a bit of a shame as well.
Yeah.
Which actually leads into my consequences a little bit, is that there is no more Jirok or Tomalak after this. So
unfortunately,
yeah.
two missed opportunities there, so you don't get either of them. Direct consequences for the Federation, not really. Maybe a little bit more wary of the Romulans, but nothing that's going to show in the show. The only thing for me is I feel like as soon as I watch this episode with you now, I'm like, oh fuck. They took that moment in engineering between Geordi and Data and directly transplanted it into the last episode of Picard. And I'm so dead certain on that now. I'm like, wow.
It's one of those kind of proper calling your shots type of thing, isn't it?
As soon as because obviously I haven't watched this episode for a while, and as soon as I listened to it, I was like, yes, dirty bastard, that was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Because he's so adamant in that last episode of Picard season 3. My tells me I can do this. You're good. What do you mean you're good? My good. I'm gonna do it. Fuck you. And that's essentially I'm like, oh, that's taken directly from this episode. Directly from this episode. Oh, it's so good. But again, it is minor things. But as you know, I do not like scoring low. I really don't. A 5?
Yeah, I'm okay to go with 5.
Oh yeah, I'll go with 5 then. I'll go with 5.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, because like I say, it's one of those ones where like it's not to say it's not a missed opportunity, because it really isn't. It's unfair to call it a missed opportunity. I think what it is, the fact that like it is just an episode that naturally does end in a draw, and it ends with no real kind of resolution. We move on to next week and see what happens. Yeah. Like we don't. Like Star Trek, like especially because it's still like a long season and stuff like that, and unless there's an episode that kind of like directly sequelizes an episode done before, they don't do this kind of like self-referential, like, oh, here's the reference from this episode, and we want to continue this on here, and that's it done, and we move
Yeah.
on. It's not like kind of short form like Trek that we have now, where they have to keep looping back into each other just to make fucking use of the cast. It's like it's no, that's it. Episode story done now. Let's move on. Never happened. Let's just crack on. And that's essentially what it is. It's not. I don't think it's a bad thing in that respect. It's just the nature of the beast. It's just how TV was done back then, and some people will prefer it that way, and that's fine. There's no law against it. So, Mr. Jerry Soul, have you been doing your maths? Do you know what magic number we have left on this? We have left this episode with.
No, I just know that we've given it plenty of 20s, no, plenty of tens, but
Yes.
not quite as many as as our last showing. Not
Well,
quite as many.
you will be surprised to hear that it has knocked out the Year of Hell out of our top 10.
Oh,
Yes. So, remarkably enough, now we have 3 episodes, all joint 8th place on 87 out of 100, which is the Strange New Worlds episode, All Those Who Wander, which is the Gorn episode, if you in case you're not too sure, and then both Next Generation entries, The Wounded and The Defector. The Defector now is at 87 out of a possible 100, which is not bad at all, really, realistically speaking. Amok Time is still ranked 7th from the original series at 88. Duet, which we were kind of seeing as a bit of a rival to this episode, is 6th on 90. Just a half point ahead is Best of Both Worlds from the Next Generation. Quality Mercy then a half point ahead of that, along with In the Pale Moonlight from Deep Space Nine. Yesterday's Enterprise, a comfortable second at 95.5, and an even more comfortable leader is Way of the Warrior from Deep Space Nine with a 98 out of 100, and good fucking luck trying to match that.
I'm like, it's because you've said it there. I was like, holy shit, we did mark that 98, didn't we? Christ,
You did?
like
Yeah.
it was like that was it was all tens bar. I don't think there were any nines. I think there were 9.5s, weren't they?
There was a 1-9, which is setting. That was
One
it.
one
Everything
nine,
else-
one
five
nine,
and 10.
and then two 9.5s, and then everything else was 10. So that well deserved leader there.
Yeah.
I don't, it's not going to be beat. I don't foresee it being beat. To be perfectly
No.
honest with you, there's a couple of episodes I think could challenge it, but even then I'm like, no, it's
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of again, as much as I think it's kind of hard to find an episode like this. Is a good example where an episode that does exceptionally well in some categories and some that just physically can't do it because it just doesn't have the steam. So again, the challenge is trying to find episodes that is essentially all rounders for all intents and purposes, as opposed to anything else. But as I said, we're still keeping the show going just for the sheer fact that we just love an excuse to talk about Star Trek. So we're still going to be doing this. So, if in case you were wondering, where are we going next with this season, especially going into the new year, in the year of our Lord 2026. When I say Lord, I of course mean Q. So we are going to continue on with these episodes. So our next arc of episodes that we're doing is a Romulan arc, in case you couldn't tell from the Defector episode itself. So we're actually breaking from our tradition because normally we do like a set of 5, then we kind of pivot to something else, and then we end on a 2-parter. But listen, we're having fun with this show, so we might as well do two-parters this coming year. So you've already watched the Defector, and hopefully you've enjoyed. The next episode we're going to be doing is an Enterprise episode, and it's the episode Minefield, which is essentially canonically the first real foray we have with the Romulans in terms of the actual Federation. So that's going to be an interesting one to see. The next episode after that then is going to be from Star Trek Picard. It's our first Picard episode of the show, and it's going to be the episode Absolute Candor, which is the one that kind of really delves into Romulan culture almost, and Romulan society, especially after Supernova. So that's going to be a fascinating kind of flash forward to what happens to them after that. Episode 44 is a bit of a palate cleanser in a way, but does have Romulans involved. It's Voyager's episode Message in a Bottle, which puts Picard, the good doctor, and unfortunately Andy Dick, can't get rid of him unfortunately at this stage, but the both of them on the bridge of the Prometheus as being taken over by Romulans, which is, that's good shit, to be fair. And then episode 45 is our first 2-parter of the year, which is going to be Reunification parts 1 and 2. And now, if that, again, it's going to be a great episode to watch. Whether scores well or not, it has a lot of stuff going for it in terms of like, obviously we have Sela, we have Spock, we have a lot of things going on in this episode. But whether it challenges Best of our Way the Warrior, we'll have to wait and see. So we have a set of 5 episodes to do the Romulans. So what better way to follow it up then is 5 episodes about our good friend the Klingons. So after we do reunification, the two-parter, we're going to go back to the original series and review the episode An Errand of Mercy, which is essentially the first canonical, well, not canonical, but for the first time the Klingons are really introduced in Star Trek lore. So we get some of the original Klingons who hilariously do end up in Deep Space Nine later under actual prosthetics, that aren't just like, racist, let's be honest. So at the very least, then we'll be able to actually see what the Klingons were like as they were intended in the original series, problematic and all. Next up, then I mentioned DS9, and we're going to stick to that because the episode after that is House of Quark, which is again a bit of a palate cleanser, to be honest. That's a bit of a fun one to watch, and again just delves in a little bit of that kind of Klingon lore as well from a different side. After that, then we're going back to Voyager, and we're going to delve deeper into B'Elanna Torres's kind of half-blood, if you like, with Barge of the Dead, which very much takes us all the way to Sto-vo-kor and back. And then we're finishing off, hopefully 2026, with a double header of The Next Generation. So episode 49 is Sins of the Father, which obviously goes into Worf's kind of tumultuary with the Klingon High Command, with the Duras family, and everything in between. And then episode 50 then will be his literal redemption with the two-parter with the exact same name. So it's going to be a fun one because again we're doing a lot of TNG this year, which again we're not really complaining with, to be perfectly honest. We're not going to say no to that. But we are trying to jazz up a little bit and trying to like give like a few different perspectives, Star Trek perspectives on what we're working with as well. Hence what we're doing. We're trying to find excuses to go to Voyager and Enterprise. So, very like DS9 this year, but you know what? We'll make it work either way. I'm sure it'll be fine. We won't be. We can make up for that with our next arcs. Then I'm sure we can just do all DS9, just all Cisco, just rubbing Avery Brooks' smooth head just for 10 episodes. Don't know what he'll think about that, to be honest. I'd say he'd take that kind of personally. But anyway, that's the episode. That's what I look forward to from this show next year. So Jerry, how about you have had a busy year yourself? So normally we have something to kind of promote here, but you've actually been doing nothing but promoting Comic-Cons all year. And
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I get a rest now until March of next year.
Yeah.
It's been a busy year. We had March of this year, we had spring edition of Dublin Comic Con. Then we had summer edition Dublin Comic Con in August. We had Cork Comic Con in the start of October.
Yeah.
And then just last week, or depending on when this goes out, it was early November, I suppose, a couple of weeks ago. We had our first, I should say. I always say the first, but it's not the first. It's our first Dublin Horror Con, which we did. Now that was probably I don't want to say hardest one that I've done so far, but certainly my busiest one, because generally when I do a con, it's me and my co-host Olivia Fay. But unfortunately, Olivia was unavailable for HorrorCon due to family reasons, so she wasn't able to make it. Now everything's all right with her. Everything's absolutely spot on. I just want to reiterate that fact. But it just meant that I had 9 guests that I had to interview. Generally, I interview about 3.
Yeah.
Maybe I might have 4 panels with maybe one panel that might have 3 people on it, and then another 3 people that I interview. So that's fine. But that's only 3 or 4 panels. This was 6 panels, and so there was a lot of research I had to do. Everyone from Jason Patrick, who Lost Boys, Speed 2, the list goes on for stuff he's done. The Terrifier panel, which was David Howard Thornton, Samantha Scavidi, Damien Leone, who's the director, writer, special effects artist, and Phil Falcone, which is the producer. And it was interesting getting their own different individual takes
Perspectives
on
on it,
on
yeah.
on, making the series, and now the final one going to be, fingers crossed, coming out next year. Um, you had Derek Mears, you had Danielle Harris, you had Dana De Lorenzo. Uh, that's just I can't even remember all of them. That's how many we,
Yeah.
we, we had.
As you said, you
Um,
had a bit of a whirlwind over 2 days from
oh,
doing
absolute
yeah.
whirlwind. I think I was on stage the first day for 4 hours straight, and the next day I was on stage for 3.5 hours straight. And it was an interesting weekend, but certainly
Hmm.
not one I could complain about because we had such a great time.
Yeah.
Um, we had like get to see Deborah Tower and Thornton actually in the Art the Clown makeup.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not, I'm like our good friend Amy here with clowns. I'm not quite as bad, but um, just seeing him kind of, it gives you a shiver
Yeah.
down your spine, because this is the guy that this is the guy who 2 days beforehand I watched on TV murdering 6 people, and I'm like,
Hmm.
interesting, and he's just looking at me, waving and smiling, like, get the fucking away from me, you creepy bastard. Um, but it was certainly interesting. I will give it that.
Yeah.
But we had a great weekend. Um, Show center, absolutely, it's a great venue. We hadn't been in it for so many years. I forgot actually how big it was. It's actually huge.
Yeah.
So we had a great time. Lots of great vendors there. Lots of great cosplayers. Lots of great guests. It was a great weekend. So I'm really looking forward to next year. Now I can't get into too many details because, well, the reason I can't is because I don't fucking know them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, but
We've got Christmas to go to, lads. Like,
we, exactly. But
yeah.
what I will say is this: we do have the two usual cons that we do every year, which is
Hmm.
spring and summer Comic Con. The guys, I've not confirmed it yet, but they are looking at Cork again because we had such an amazing time at Cork, and
We're really
I do mean
wealthy
that.
as a relative. Yeah.
I do mean that. That for me, I've done the big cons in Dublin. I think for me, Cork is by and large my favorite right now because we had such a great time. The appetite for it down there is huge, and
Yeah.
people, they came out in force, and the crowds we got at the panels that I did were just out the door, like standing
Hmm.
room only, absolutely fantastic. Even the cosplay competition was out the door. We Such a great time. So I'm hoping that we will be able to announce that we're going back to Cork next year, and hopefully again, HorrorCon. I would love to do another HorrorCon as well. These
Yeah.
things have not been confirmed yet, but I'm not giving it. There's no spoilers, and I'm not
No,
guaranteeing
absolutely. Yeah.
anything. Hopefully we'll get another HorrorCon. Hopefully get another HorrorCon. But I know, and this is, I suppose, a little exclusive. There are more on the way,
Indeed.
other than what I've just said. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And well, again, everything is to be confirmed. Everything is to be planned.
Oh,
If it
provisional.
doesn't go,
Yes.
if it doesn't go ahead, it doesn't go ahead. I haven't actually spoiled anything for anybody. It hasn't been like, oh, you said this was happening and it didn't. I actually haven't. I've just
Yeah.
said that.
You were
Doubling
teasing, Gary. That's all. That's
exactly.
it.
I'm
Teasing
teasing.
is the same as
So
promising.
so all I know so far is spring is going to be busy because in
Yeah.
spring we don't only have one Star Trek guest, we have two,
Mm-hmm.
which is Denise Crosby is going to be over for the entire weekend of Spring Edition Comic Con. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Actually, sit down and get to talk to her about Tashi Yar and about Sela,
And
and then
Trekkies, of course.
and Trekkies, of course, and then of course for one day only. And it is sad, but it is one day only. So if you really want to meet her, you really want your picture taken with her, really want your autograph with her, get to Dublin Comic Con in March. One day only on the Saturday will be, oh, Captain, my Captain, it'll be Kate Mulgrew. She will be there for one day only on the Saturday. And normally, when a guest does one day only, it means that they're there to sign autographs, to take pictures, and for the professional photos to be taken as well. So
Yeah.
generally, you don't get a panel, you don't get a chat with them. But again, I suppose I can exclusively reveal that I will be getting a few minutes, probably behind the scenes, to sit down with Kate Mulgrew and to have a little chat with her about that. So
Excellent.
you've no idea how excited I am about the potential for that. So, and I don't think anything has been announced yet. So, but Kate Mulgrew will be doing more in Ireland, I believe,
Good.
around that time. So if something gets announced, make sure you
Keep an eye out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, keep an eye out for it. So
Yeah.
that'll be great. But yeah, really looking forward to next year. I know there are lots of plans for more guests. I have been
Mm.
told a few of those plans. If we get 100% on those, I will talk to you the next time about it. Those are very exciting names. Very
Yes.
exciting names is all I can say. I would personally, for me, is that I would like to welcome back some of the next generation cast that we've had before at Dublin Comic Con.
Yeah.
Before I was involved on it, because I'd like to get my own little chat with them. The likes
Absolutely.
of Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner would absolutely love to have back. Marina Sirtis is just across in England now. She mostly
Yeah.
resides in England now. And this is the thing about Marina Sirtis, about Troy. When you're watching Next Generation, you don't fucking realize she's English.
No, because of
You
the
really don't, because the accent she puts on. But my God, is she English?
Yeah, very English, very London actually. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very much so. But
Yeah.
my God, I'd love to have a chat with her.
Yeah.
Personally, what I'd like is, see, this is the thing about it, is that it's great having these individual guests over,
Yeah.
but it's even better when you get a few of them together.
Oh yeah. The band's back
I
together.
would love that. So, I'm personally kind of pitching ideas for different guests. There's a couple of duos, I suppose, that I'd love to get over.
Yeah.
Uh, Without getting into it, I'd love to get a couple of duos from Deep Space Nine. So there's a couple of dual people that I'd like to get in. Maybe some Ferengi, maybe some Klingons, maybe some Cardassians, that type of thing. Without going into too much detail, nothing has been, nobody's been booked. I'm just saying that now. This is what I'd like. This is very much what I'd like. But it's also down to I can't use my heart about this. I have to use my head about this, and I have to see what do people actually want at Comic Con. So here's a question for you. I'll leave you with this. Who would you like to see me interview at Dublin Comic Con? Who would you like to see come over? Are there any Star Trek? No, listen. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Say, can we get Avery Brooks? Can we get Avery Brooks? Can we get Patrick Stewart? Can we get William Shatner? Don't be silly now.
Yeah.
Don't be silly about this. Let's try and be realistic. Okay, we don't have millions and millions and millions to be spending on guests.
Exactly. Yeah.
So be realistic, but have a think about it. We have Tasha Yar, we have Kate Mulgrew. We're very lucky to have Kate Mulgrew. I will say that much.
Yeah.
It just, the stars aligned on this one. We're getting Kate Mulgrew. Who would you like to see? Would you like to see some main characters from Deep Space Nine? Would you like to see main characters from Voyager? Would you like to see a couple of secondary characters from each of those? Who would you like to see come to Dublin Comic Con to be interviewed by yours truly? Who would you like to see? Let us know.
Indeed, and that's your homework for today now. So Jerry wants to know what your Christmas wish list is for Comic Con, and who knows? I'm sure a little bit of magic dust might sprinkle on you if the stars align, as we did with Kate Mulgrew. But yeah, listen, if the previous year is anything to go by, it's gonna be a fucking cracking year for Jerry in terms of Comic Con and everything in between. So yeah, watch his space. Just keep an eye on him. See what he's up to. Where he goes, if he's walking across the street, just tackle him and ask him when he's going to be interviewing Martok, because that's eventually what's going to happen. It's just like, just keep shaking him until you just get the man what you want. Like it used to work for me all the time. So
please don't do that. I will have you arrested.
Well, that was the try, wasn't it? Anyway, that goes my idea. So sorry, apparently we have to be fucking civil about this shit or whatever. Fucking stupid nonsense. Anyway, so with that in mind, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of the Best of All Worlds podcast, and we will be back next year with the next episode, which is, as I check my notes again because I fucking forgot, Minefield from Star Trek Enterprise. Look at me stretching for time. Can't find the fucking page. Anyway, good idiot. So, by all means, leave us a comment down below the line what you thought of our review of the episode, whether you think we were fair or we were blowing smoke up the Romulan Zarses. You let me know, and again, let us know what other episodes you want to see on this show, because again, we're going to need ideas for arcs in the future, so we can always incorporate them into our plans going forward. And as Jerry says, who do you want to see at Comic Con? Who do you want to see the great man himself interview? I'm sure he will be obliging to all ideas and suggestions, no matter how impossible that they are. Because it's just all it needs is a bit of willpower and an awful lot of money, and maybe some emotional blackmail. I don't know. I don't know what the terms of engagement are. You know better than me. But until then, we shall leave you on some wise words, as we always do.